fake.
Sometimes when I started doing all my lives on my Facebook page 2 years ago nearly now, I used to do the same thing every day and I sounded like Bosco. Yeah. Hello everybody!
You know, when I do my radio clips, I'm always like, hi and good morning here. But then you kind of have to do your radio voice. Yeah, hi and good morning here. You can reach me on. Yeah, I won't go down that road.
Okay.
By the way, this to me is almost like breaking up with somebody.
Oh yeah, but it's a big deal.
I'm always nervous. Will I ever get over? Hi. Oh, hi, Nicola.
Hey.
Nicola, thanks for coming on today. Did I tell you about Nicola?
You did. Oh, I'm
sending you a huge hug. That's my poor sister, Nicola. And Nicola's darling, beloved Roxy went with the angels there on... I can't remember what day it was. One of the days there last week.
It was a Friday.
Was it?
I think maybe it was.
So yeah, today we're going to talk about pets. Now, I know we have lots of pressing subjects. You are looking so serious. It's not a serious topic today. Well, not too serious. Okay, let's just move on. Get on that. Okay, so I know we had a very big topic of suicide there on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. And so I think sometimes we try to like lighten things up and then have serious topics. Yeah. And it's just not good for the world and ourselves if we kind of like stay around the doom and gloom too long, you know. So today we want to talk about like pets and owning pets. And I don't know if I'm right in saying this, but I think there's a certain type of personality that would own a pet. Yeah. The reason why I'm saying pets is because not everybody has a dog, but dogs would be the main one. Some own snakes. Do you talk to your snake about personal stuff? I don't know. And some will have cats, so cats and dogs would be the main ones.
I have a comment, but I'm going to keep it to myself.
Yeah, keep that one to yourself.
Oh God.
So
yes, I would agree that there's definitely a type of person, but I also think that you have to try it to know if you're the type of person.
Well, I don't know about that, because if you just get an animal for the sake of trying it, and you can't get an animal for the sake of trying it, because then you give them up. Those ones that get one at Christmas and then give them away.
Now, I've had a couple of experiences where I've had dogs that have bitten very soon after I've gotten them. They bit Josh. Yeah. So I've had to give up 3 dogs who've bitten. And thankfully I rehomed them rather than, did anything crazy with them.
Well, I've done a lot of research into, say, getting the right animal for yourself. And there's like so much, it's almost like a baby coming into your house. It's even more than a baby coming in some sense, because if you are planning on having a family and you want to get a dog beforehand. Hi Neil. That's my cousin from England.
Hi Neil from England.
He's a very busy man and never has time to do lots of things because he's so busy doing everything. So it's so nice that he's
busy. Neil from England.
Anyways, yeah, so if you're going to have kids in that, then it's very important that you get an animal that's going to be very kind and that they can almost kind of get like agitated a little bit with being pulled and jumped on by young born or new kids. I'm really waffling today, I'm so sorry. Anyway, did you get your dogs that bit? Did you get them from a good breeder? Was it a rescue dog? Why were they aggressive? Because the vet said to me when I got a Pomeranian for myself initially, I found it was nippy with my boys, but Poms are a one dog owner. So they're very protective of whoever the master is, and they're not so friendly always. Like some maybe, but not always, are friendly with everybody else apart from the owner. Why are you staring at me today? You're just like you're in love with me or something. It's a bit intimidating.
I am. Hi everyone, I'm so in love with Thelma.
Anyways, so I gave the dog to my mum, and Nicola would be like, I know you offloaded that dog to like my mother, but my mother loves her and she loves my mum and she jumps up my mother's wheelchair all the time. And dare you get that dog? Miss Daisy is her name. I know you hate that name. Kira slagged me and slagged me and slagged me and slagged me to the point I had to... She was a good teacher for me because she taught me to step up to the mark and say as a friend, Kira, enough is enough. I don't give a shit what you call her, but she's my dog. She was called Miss Daisy before I got her, so she's going to stay Miss Daisy.
It was funny. She says I slagged and slagged. I actually said it twice. And after the second time, she went home and she messaged me and she said, I'm going to have to say that I'm not going to be okay if you keep saying anything about the fact that I call the dog Miss Daisy.
Boundaries.
Straight away I was like, that's okay, that's totally fine. You can call the dog whatever you want, because I would respect boundaries massively. But yeah, Miss Daisy.
Yeah, so she's at my mom's now, but she did get a little bit nippy.
Okay.
But so my point is, I spoke to the vet about her behaviour, and he had said that if your pup is showing those signs now, then they're only going to get worse when they're an older dog. So he said you're still within your rights to give them back to the owner, and they have to take them back. So I didn't know that. But Damien said to me, because we were used to having a bigger dogs like a lassie, and Damien said to me, my husband, that it's only because she's small and that's her way of defending herself around two small kids. Guys, I'm sorry if I'm not looking at you correctly, because you're meant to look at a tiny hole on the corner, and it's off-putting if I have to stare into that. So anyway, excuse me if I'm not staring at the right place. But yeah, so, but it does, like, is that just an excuse? So I listened to him. I went, like, not listening to my gut, if you like, and said, you know, we'll hold on to her anyways. But what happened was, she'd be getting to the back of the car and she'd go to jump up on the kids, and the kids would go to push her down, and she'd turn, "Arr!" And I just thought, I can't have that, because if I'm driving and if she ever nipped them in the face or anywhere, then it could be catastrophic. And then, you know, obviously my son is sick, so to have a bite from an animal, like, would only probably make that worse. So what did you do then with your... tell me about the breeder, where you got them from, and then what did you do with those dogs then?
So the first dog that bit it was actually because Josh was too young. It was wrong of me to get the dog. I would take full responsibility for it. And because he was so young, he was catching the dog's paw and head when he'd go outdoors, and he'd close the door really quick. Josh was only 2 or 1.5. So the dog was really afraid. A tiny little pup, and Josh was only small too. And it was really hard to tell Josh what to do and what not to do. I'd give out and I'd, you know, tell him that's not okay. And then I'd turn my back and it was all just awful. So a friend of mine took the dog, and they had 2 older kids, and the dog had just the best life ever. Absolutely fantastic. So it worked out well. The second dog I got from a farmer, and it was a cross between a collie and a German shepherd. Oh my God. It was just, it never stopped. Bit, all of the time. And always Josh.
And
never
had you
me.
seen, like, the parents of the dog?
No.
Because that's always a good sign, if you're introduced the parents of the
for
dog.
sure.
And then see what their temperament is like around you, and if they're kind of submissive. Because I know if you're into dogs, I know we probably do a lot of dogs on this chat, that if you're into dogs, there's a guy called Cesar Milan. He's also called the Dog Whisperer, so he's really good. If you check him out on YouTube, he gives a huge amount of tips on what to look for, and he'd often say it's not the dog's fault, it's to train the owners about her energy.
100%.
But when it comes to biting, that, I don't know how you get around that so much,
Particularly
dog training.
with kids. We rehomed that was like, that was probably the second worst rehoming that we had, but it ended up going really well. The dog went to England to a German Shepherd carer that cares for German Shepherds and German Shepherd crosses. And then the final
But
dog,
did you tell them that he'd bit?
Oh yeah,
You
you'd
did?
have to be honest whenever you send a dog anywhere. The final dog's name was Buddy, and Buddy was a collie cross as well, and Buddy bit Josh on the inside of the thigh twice and left 2 scars.
It's not a good introduction for Josh
No.
with dogs.
Thankfully he's not a scared kid. So we were on the beach one day, and a couple were walking towards us, and what I hadn't noticed was Buddy was herding Josh towards the sea, and he was pushing me away from the sea. So it was like he was trying to get rid of Josh and keep me. He was a fantastic dog for one owner, and it was a collie cross.
See, collies do herd, that's their nature.
Yeah, but this one was...
And the nip on the ankles.
He was so cross, loved me to bits. Oh, I hated Josh with a passion. We'd be hugging, and he'd get in between me and Josh, and he'd knock Josh over.
Okay.
But the final straw was he jumped up and he bit Josh on the inside of the thigh and drew blood, and then he bit him a second time. So I actually brought him to the vets, and I had the vets check him out, and they just said, look, he's brilliant, he's a fantastic dog, but he is obviously going to bite again. And we rang every single SPCA in the whole country, the whole of Ireland, and I couldn't get anybody to take him because I actually had to say to them that he had bitten.
He drew blood, yeah.
And so the final straw was I went in on a Monday to the vets, and she said, you're going to have to put him down. Now, he was a beautiful dog. He was beautiful. And on the Thursday, we went in and put him down.
Oh my God.
It was heartbreaking. It was the worst.
Yeah.
It was just awful. So from then, we said, right, ixnay on the dogs for quite some time, because we've had a lot of really bad experiences. The two puppies were my fault. I shouldn't have gotten dogs at that young age, but they were rehomed, really happy. Buddy just had a little bad streak in him, and nobody would have taken him because he had bitten.
You see, if you're willing to invest the time and train them and bring them to a dog trainer and work on their behaviour, but you'd really need to invest a lot of time with them and probably not be around young kids.
Yeah.
You know, it might have been different, but because nobody was willing to take him.
But that's what I was gutted by. He would have been fantastic if he was with an older man who lived on his own, or an older woman who lived on her own. And that's what I was saying. Every time I'd go into the vets and I'd ring another SPCA, I'd say, he's a fantastic dog, he's so well mannered, he just cannot be around kids, he needs to have one owner only.
Yeah.
And they'd say, we can't take him because he's bitten.
Yeah.
You know.
And so tell me this, what would have been your purpose for getting an animal in the first place?
Because I always had dogs. And for me, I would have always wanted Josh to have that opportunity to have a pet as a friend, or a friend as a pet. Because they're just so great to have. You know, you can talk to them, you can laugh with them, you can cry with them. They're the most unconditional loving species, whatever animal. Dogs more so, I think, than anything else. But that was kind of the reason why, you know, I always had dogs, so I thought, and he loves dogs.
I was the same as that. I've always had animals, mainly cats. I had mice, but they weren't by choice. And mainly dogs as well. And I just found that for me, well, because I was so used to having them, then it wasn't like such a massive introduction for me to introduce then dogs to a newborn and that, you know, because I was kind of used to different behaviours, and I knew a lot. I suppose I've got a bit of a farming background in a sense, and, you know, working with temperaments of different animals and what to look out for in that. And I just thought it's good for kids to have like companionship. Like, you know, the way they'd have like, we never turned off the sounds on these things.
That's okay, that one seems to be fine.
That I think that if you naturally have a comforter in life, whether that's like, say, a blanket, or whether it's a teddy, you know, as a child and that, then I think that, you know, you're probably one of these nurturing people, or somebody who wants to have someone around you quite a lot. And so an animal is a good replacement for your blankie, if you like. And when I was growing up as a child, I had, you know, challenges as a child and that, and I know loads of people do, and you don't necessarily have to have an animal for challenges, I suppose, because my parents didn't know about them at the time. But like, I had cats. I used to go up the garden playing with them. I used to tell them like my stories, like my issues, my problems, if I was being bullied, everything. And I was like kind of the animal whisperer of Westport nearly. I had every feckin' tomcat. That wasn't just the men's and the nightclubs and that, but I had like every stray animal literally came to my house, and it was a bit like Noah's Ark, if you like. But like, you know, even with the dogs, I'd have the dog on my bed, and just telling them everything. And as you said, the unconditional love that you get from them. And they're there when nobody else is there sometimes, and that, you know. And then I just thought it'd be nice for my kids to have something like that in their life too. And it teaches them responsibility, and it teaches them how to nurture and to be kind. And you can't teach them that with teddies and stuff like that. You can do a little bit of role playing, but when something's right there in front of you, and they see the rewards, they get rewarded for the kindness, for walking them, for all of these things. So for me it was important, but it's a different ball game when you have to say goodbye.
Oh yeah, totally. I remember when we had Cass. Cass was my dog. Do you remember Cass?
No.
The blonde golden retriever.
I told you I have a bad memory.
Mum's and Dad's house. No?
Right, barely.
So I had Cass all through my childhood. I got her for my communion from a priest friend, Aoife McNamara's uncle.
Oh yeah, Father
McNamara.
Yeah.
So he gave me the dog for my communion, and oh God, we were the best of friends from the minute I saw the dog. And I was 21 and I was living up in Dublin with Anya. And so I hadn't seen the dog probably in, we'll say, 6 or 8 months, because I had been up in Dublin. And we were sitting there, and Christmas dinner was about to happen, and they got a phone call. Anya got a phone call, and she goes, "I have something to tell you. Cass died." I wasn't even given any time. I was like, sorry, what? Oh my God, I was gutted. I was devastated. They had told me 2 or maybe 4 weeks beforehand that Cass had had the flu and she had been sent to a farm to get better. They lied. She was dead. She had died 4 weeks previously, but they decided to wait until Christmas Day to tell me she was dead. My mum and dad had actually rang my sister to say to her, you might want to tell Ciara that Cass is dead just in case she comes home over the Christmas. And that was it. I was gutted. I was devastated. Yeah.
Oh, that's so sad.
Oh, it was terrible.
Well, I remember the cat called Lucy. I swear to God, the cat came everywhere with me. Like when I was in the car, she'd crawl up around the head of the seat and she'd be like literally tickling me with her tail, you know. She came everywhere with me. And one particular time I was doing a family's hair for a wedding, and next thing my phone was like hopping through the roof, but I thought it was unprofessional to answer it, but it kept on going. So I said, do you mind if I answer my phone? So I did. I got a phone call, and David, I do love you and I have got over it, right? But anyways, David either was arriving to the house, I think he was leaving the house, and Lucy had gone up underneath into the engine because cats love the heat.
Yeah.
And David felt a bump, and like to tell me even like what had happened and how she shook and what she actually did, and then she died. I was absolutely gutted. I cried and cried and cried and cried. And any other like kind of stray cats or dogs I had, my parents always give them away, and I cried and cried after that. But I had Shadow. Shadow was my collie, and I absolutely loved her. Like, can I just tell you this, guys? I don't know, and I'd like to know if any of you feel this way as well. Like, Shadow was just, she was like my twin soul. Like, she was just amazing, and she could sense every time I was upset on that. And if I was watching Home and Away and there was something on and I wanted to cry, okay, don't laugh, I do cry sometimes at sad things, you know, lots of things. But anyways, and Shadow came up and she put one paw on my leg, another paw on my chest, and her big long collie nose stuck in my face, and she'd be like, "Rrr," and Dane'd be like, are you okay, Tam? Are you crying? I'm like, no. And she was just always there for me and always so lovely. And the times I got frustrated when she was kind of like in around my feet and I was trying to get the kids ready, I'm like, Shadow, get out of my way! And then I feel so guilty then when she still comes over to lick me, and like, because they're so in the moment, like they don't care what you did yesterday, they just are in the moment today. So there's such good teachers in that for us. It's so unconditional in that. And that when I was putting her down, and I do love you, Mum and Granny and Auntie Martina, but she went on holidays for 2 weeks to my mum's house, and let's just say that they killed her with kindness, and killed her with love. So they were like sausage for me and sausage for you, and fry for me and fry for you, and they thought that was treating her, but actually she put on, was it I don't even think it was 5 kgs in 2 months. I think it was something huge. I think it was 10 kgs was it in 2 months. And basically her back legs caved, she became paralysed and that. When I say 2 months, it's because they guilted me into keeping her then. And Martina was saying, oh, but your mother really misses her and she loves her. And I'm like, right, okay. Anyway, Charlotte, why does that come into my head? Shadow got paralysed and her back legs gave away. And so she'd be kind of climbing through the house and her back legs would be going like this, and she'd be like climbing on her 2 front legs, and it got to the point we had to lift her out with a scarf trying to hold up her back legs. I did not want to put her down. I was advised to put her down. I brought her to like the vets in Galway, and he said it's going to cost serious money to go and put her through an operation, and I said, look, I can pay it off, do whatever the case was. I'd give anything for this dog, you know, like this dog meant nearly more to me than humans in a sense, you know. And he had said, look, it's actually not going to work with an operation because we have to operate on one leg, then it's going to be the other leg, then she'll have 2 legs in kind of like cast, if you like. And anyways, I
remember you were going to get her a little wheelchair thing.
I did.
Well, did you?
Got her a wheelchair, and I swear to God, everybody laughed when I said I'm going to get her a wheelchair. So I found out, and it's called something wheels, paws on wheels or something. And I rang them as company in England, and you measure the dog the way they want the dog measured. And this wheelchair came, and it's like 2 bars that go either side of their chest and kind of harnessed around the front, and then 2 little wheels down their back legs. and tried her in that, and she absolutely hated it, couldn't take to it at all. So the time eventually came where I had to put her down. I swear to God, I told her that, you know, I'm so sorry that I'm going to have to put you down, and she'd put her head away all the time, and I'd be crying into her chest, and she'd keep putting her head away. Like, I suppose if someone kept fucking, excuse my language, crying to me, saying to me, I'm going to put you down and you're going to die.
I'm going to kill you.
Yeah. Like, I'd be like, well,
good luck.
Yeah, stop fucking crying on top of me like you so-and-so, like, do you know what I mean? And it's like as if she was just a human. She knew like exactly what was saying, and she was like, "Arr!" And I'm like, oh my God. And myself and my auntie, we cried and cried for a month, and my auntie had to kind of get used to the idea. And eventually then I said, rather than bring her to the vets, because she always, like, her teeth were chattering when I brought her to the vet, I said, we'll bring the vet to my mother's house, and we put her down there. I swear to God, guys, it was one of the worst things that I had to do.
Yeah,
like,
it's awful.
Like, he was so good. He was like, look, I'll sedate her a little bit first so she won't really feel it. She didn't want him to go near her. And then they couldn't then get like a vein in the front leg, so he had to put her through her chest. And he said she's not going to feel anything, Emma. She's a little bit sedated now, right? Oh my God, she did feel something, and she lifted up her hand going, "Arr!" And I swear to God, I cried and cried. There was so much tears and snots in her for her, it wasn't even funny. Like, it was horrific. And it took me a long time to get over that. And like, I didn't have to go to work that week, thank God. But like, how do you guys cope when you have like something that you love so absolutely dearly, and how could, like, there should be like a day off work that you should be able to take when your animal dies.
Yeah.
Because it's so heartbreaking.
For some people, they can't operate after it.
Oh, it's so heartbreaking.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big one for sure. It is always interesting to know why people get pets, and then what you go through with them. You know, what the reasoning is behind having gotten a pet, whether it's because you needed company or you're on your own. Have you had a breakup? Do you think it's a good idea to have it with kids? Do you think it's a good idea to have because you're older? Do you think that it's a nice
security?
Yeah, like, why do people get pets? There's so many different reasons.
Yeah.
But then having to go through that at the end, whatever the end is for your pet, you know, if you're close to them at all, it is torture.
Yeah, it's horrific.
And some animals you get much closer to than others. So like, we have Jack now, and Jack's 2, so we've had him for 2 years. It's a boxer, and he's nuts. He's bonkers. I put a post up on your page, you know, when you put your post up.
Yeah.
Like, he is the most loving, caring nut job that I've ever had in my life. He's cuckoo for coconuts. He fits right in with us. He is a big weirdo, and he's so loving, and he just wants to, when we sit on the couch and we put the duvet over us, he burrows in under the duvet until his snout is in between my legs, and he wants the whole duvet over him, the covers over him, and then he goes to sleep, and he'd be under there for hours without taking any breath. He just is there. And even
you
now,
mustn't smell that bad, Ciara.
I think I probably stink, and that's why he's in there. Pheromones. I'm just kidding.
God. I actually
shower.
didn't even think that you'd come out with anything like that. So
I shower regularly, swear, at least once a month. So I just love him. Like, if anything was to happen to him now, like, I come home and he's like a little person. He stands up on his hind legs, and we've got a baby gate out there because I don't trust him to not wee around the house yet, even though he's 2, because he's done some bold stuff. And he stands up on his back legs, and he's got this big chest, and he's jumping, and he's so excited to see me when I walk in the door. He's like, "Mom, you're home. Oh my God, can I have a hug? How was the day? Where have you been? What are you doing?" And he's so full of excitement.
Like, he's jumping to the height.
Yeah, and yet he can't jump over the baby gate. It's hilarious. So even now, and he's only 2, Jesus, I'd be heartbroken if anything happened to him.
You just come to love them with all you have. Like, I know my auntie in Galway, Maureen, if you're watching, she used to go nuts because she was OCD about her house, and and I wish I had an element of that. Her house was so clean, everything had a place, and just amazing. And her kids had the dog, and it was so funny. They were going through pictures that they had got developed, and she's like, "What is that dog doing in the kitchen? And what's that dog doing here? And oh my goodness me." And, you know, then the kids kind of flee the nest, and she's left the dog, and now she has a dog on the bed and everywhere, and it just became that comfort to her.
Yeah.
And now I don't think that she'd be anywhere without the dog. And it's just so funny how you just get this connection. And I think it's just the unconditional love. I think that's what really kind of brings it home, is that they love you no matter what. I don't think anybody or anything in the universe loves you as much as that. Even your own kids. Like, your kids, like, can come and go from you, and they okay, underneath it all, they love you. But they don't show you that intensity of unconditional love as often as what you get from a dog in that.
Oh, totally. And then on the other foot, we love the dogs also unconditionally, especially when you come home and they've eaten your whole pound of butter and it was on the counter pushed into the very back, and they've managed to somehow figure out how to climb up onto the counter and get said butter and eat it, or pull down your loaf of bread that you just went to the shop and bought. That just happened.
Yeah. Or the Pomeranian, and I heard from another person who's got a half a Pom, obviously because mixed breed.
Which half do they have?
Well, you know what? In my mind, I was thinking like an actual half of the Pom.
Me too.
In my messed up brain, right? Anyway, we're too alike. This is why we do these videos. But anyways, her Pom and the Pom that I had, excuse my language, I shit you not, made all my knickers crotchless. Now, you're talking about pheromones and whatever. I have no idea.
Lord.
I swear to God, like obviously, Ciara, they were washed.
I had to just ask there.
But like, I swear to God, like I was like, "Ugh!" Like Christ, like, you know, and I had them in the basket. She like, oh,
But they must go into them. Like they must go into them
like
to the crotch.
Yeah, it's like finding the bone. So that
And
leads
then
me to believe then, right, that I may be not using the right washing powder, or I'm not putting on a high enough wash.
Or you're not washing them well enough.
That's what I mean. I don't have it on a high enough wash.
Yeah, and they can still get the scent off them. See, dogs and cats are attracted to the smell of poo and the smell of whatever goes on in the front area. We really have this
conversation right now.
Yeah, well they are though. They love it. They actually love it. Anything that smells that kind of a smell, they go towards. Okay. So that's why dogs go into the laundry basket and they take out smelly socks and smelly underwear.
Okay.
And that's why you catch them with it. They're not being weird. They haven't had a party. They're not having a rave. They just like the smell.
Right, okay.
It's so weird.
Yeah, so guys, we just want to know from yourselves because, you know, people have said, you know, chat about pets and stuff like that. So if your pet died, or if you've had a pet that has died, have you taken a day off work? Have you taken a week off work? What have you done? Have you gone out and got another dog or another animal? And then when it comes to the whole burying process, and the funeral and all that kind of crack. Now I know this sounds cuckoo for people who aren't into animals, okay? But for me, I didn't know, so please don't tell anybody, that what I did when my gorgeous Shadow died, I had this most beautiful blanket that I got from Morocco with all these colourful woven patterns and colours, and I wrapped her up on that, and Damien curled her into a ball. I actually had to make sure that her tongue was cold and everything was cold before I put her in, because
now
I had
looking
fear.
at my mouth.
Oh, sorry.
What's going on?
I don't know.
Do
Wrapped her up on that and then buried her, and then my friend says to me, you can't do that because that's like land waste. You're not meant to put like my auntie said, make sure you put her bed in along with her so she'd be nice and comfortable, but like she's dead.
Oh. It's so Irish.
Oh, I know,
so
because
Irish.
they'd be thinking like you know when someone dies, like I hate when it rains because I always think they're going to be so cold and you know, and wet, and I know they're not, but like it's not funny.
It's really funny.
And so that's why if I ever die or anybody who belongs to me dies, like I hope it's going to be sunny. But anyways, we're talking
if you
about
die, I'll
now.
make sure to put a canopy over your grave.
Yeah,
and that'll sort it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Anyways, so yeah, I buried her with that, and I planted wildflowers on her, and then my rabbit died, and then
did you put the rabbit in the same hole?
Well, you know, my auntie took the piss all the time, saying, "Oh, we're having rabbit stew."
That'd be like
that wasn't one bit nice, because you know I was attached to my rabbit too, but not as much as I was to my dog. So then Damien, he was our what do you call those people again?
Gravedigger.
No, there's a better name than gravedigger. Like, what do you call a person who buries people?
A gravedigger.
No, Ciara.
Undertaker?
Yes! No, is it?
No, the Undertaker
is a person in the funeral home. Well,
yeah.
we didn't have like a crowd coming up to
Who
say
knows?
goodbye.
Sorry for your trouble. Sorry for your trouble.
Dude, I don't even know what to laugh or cry,
Could you
or is that
imagine
like taking the piss out of people?
having like a...
Okay. Anyways, guys, we've probably talked enough about this because we don't want to go on for an hour talking about pets. They are worth the airtime, though.
Oh, they totally are. They're fantastic to have.
I think you're in a funny mood today.
Well, I've had a great day.
So what? You're in a funny mood because you had a great day. I don't feel very interactive with my pet's talk today. She's on a different level. Anyway, is there anything else you want to say? And I always think of things afterwards when we finished up.
I don't think so.
Apart from like crotchless knickers, your dog eating your butter, your dog's eating your bread. We've chatted a little bit about funerals and that. We haven't had much interaction from people today.
You know how
but we have had a lot of people
that
watching.
so if anybody just clicks into that part, the first thing they're going to hear is crotchless knickers, and they're going to see pets as the introduction. They're going to go, what is Thelma Gibbons doing in her house with her pets?
they're going to say, I'm definitely going to tune in today because that sounds really interesting. So maybe that could be our caption.
Yeah, crotchless knickers.
And add in pets there somewhere. Anyway, okay guys, we're going to possibly leave it there today. Let us know what it is that you do when you get a pet, why you get a pet, and how you go about funeral wise. You totally interrupted me, by the way, with my funeral and taking the piss. I want to tell you about Nicola. This isn't funny because her dog just died. Nicola went to the vet's. Maybe I'm better not to mention her name just in case. But she went to a vet's in Westport. And you know something, Nicola said she wanted to cremate her dog, and I buried my dog, but I didn't get a box or anything. But anyway, and Nicola cremated her dog. You won't believe like how good they were. They take the dog, they do a paw print of the dog. They actually take a snippet of the hair and they can put it in a locket for you, and they come back and they present everything to you afterwards. Like, isn't that absolutely amazing? Like, Nicola always wants to feel that like Roxy's beside her and that, you know. So isn't that amazing? Like, because it really helps in the passing of a dog.
Oh yeah, that's lovely.
Yeah, rather than saying like someone saying, "Oh, I just go out and bury her in the field or put it somewhere else."
That was lovely.
Yeah.
So she had that whole memory.
Yeah. Well, she would be getting it back soon. So it just really, I don't know, really helps that.
Yeah, I like that. I didn't have that opportunity with Buddy, but I'm not going to go into that now because it's awful. Okay. So yes, how long you wait before you have another dog? Do you go out and get a dog straight away, or
do you call
a cat,
it the same name?
Whatever it is? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Today was a funny one. Doesn't feel like our usual chats, but anyways,
okay.
Kira, I'm so glad you had a good day today.
Thanks. Yeah, me too.
Kira had one of her what was it called again?
Fast Track Your Inner Power. So it was an event that I held over in Castlebar workshop.
Is your ear just really itchy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It was awesome.
So she's really happy how that came about today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
and Joan, I know that you're watching here. I hope that you're recovering well. She had, you know, Joan Burke.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
yeah.
now the whole world knows. But anyway, she had to go to hospital. I'm just thinking there, probably shouldn't say that on air. But anyway.
We can stop now though.
Yeah. So hope, happy recovery, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you to everybody who was watching.
Yeah. And we will see you again. It's not normally Saturday, but mind you, we have a lot of people that are obviously on today on Saturday.
Yeah.
So see you on Tuesday.
Yes, next Tuesday.
And I'm not sure, do we know the topic yet?
I have a fair idea. I sent you a message.
I didn't get it.
Apparently no one else did. No, you can't because it's on WhatsApp.
Oh, okay. All right, guys. Take care. Have a lovely weekend. Bye. I don't know how to turn this off.
That one.
Oh.